Now I'm going to make a hazelnut Dacquoise. This kind of sponge is meringue based, so it's very light in texture, but very deep in flavor. Another easy recipe, and I'm going to guide you before I start. So I have my toasted hazelnuts, I have my cornstarch and icing sugar and pinch of salt. So all of this is going into the food processor, and I'm going to blitz it until my hazelnuts very fine. And step number 2, I'm going to make a meringue. So I have my egg whites here with a pinch of tartar and superfine sugar. The amount of sugar is very balanced. It's not too sweet, so it's not a typical meringue. It's less sugar is going into the meringue because I'm using some sugar in this mixture. I'm going to whip meringue into the stiff peaks so it's stable when I mix it in my dry ingredients. Then I'm going to pipe it, or you can spread it into your molds. You can use a cake ring, silicone molds, depends on what you are making. I prefer to pipe it because that's how I can get my proper thickness. I would recommend go for at least 1 centimeter thickness, because while baking it will sink a little bit for maybe 2 millimeters, so you will have a bit less. I've blitzed it for 10 seconds 3 times. That was quite enough. This kind of texture and little bit of chunk of nuts would be still fine in a sponge. Don't mix it too much, otherwise you can get a paste, not a spreadable mixture. And now mix the meringue into the nut mixture. Bake in preheated oven 160 degrees fan forced for approximately 15 minutes until the top is golden color. Let's make an apricot and white chocolate filling for the tart. This apricot puree, I'm going to bring it to the simmer and add gelatin, and then pour it on top of my white chocolate. Blitz it with a stick blender, add cold cream and blitz it again. So I'm going to pour this mousse inside of the plastic container, going to put the cling wrap on top and leave it in the fridge for at least 6 hours to fully stabilize before I'm going to whip it. Chocolate and hazelnut mousse. Let's go briefly through the ingredients and through the method. So I have here my milk. It's a full cream milk. I have here some honey. Honey helps prevent crystallization for the chocolate. Then I have my gelatin mass. It's already bloomed. I'm going to use some of homemade hazelnut praline. And I have here my combination of milk chocolate and dark chocolate. If you're going to use the block chocolate, just make sure that you chop it finely. It will speed up the melting process when you're going to pour your hot liquid. I also have my whipped cream. It's already semi-whipped and I'm keeping it in the fridge. That would be the final stage. So the process is very easy. I'm going to heat it up my milk with the honey. Once my milk starts to simmer or reach about 80 degrees, I'm going to add my gelatin mass just to fully melt. Then I'm going to put some of my hazelnut praline on top of my chocolate, and then I'm going to pour the mixture on top of my chocolates and hazelnut praline and blitz it with a stick blender. Once it's cooled down to 28 degrees, I'm going to mix in my whipping cream, and then I'm going to use it for my tart. In this recipe, I use both milk and dark chocolate. It really creates a nice profile, very balanced. It's not too bitter from the dark chocolate, and it's not too milky or sweet from the milk chocolate. I'm going to mix in the mixing bowl my chocolate mixture and whipped cream, and because it's going to set quite fast, straight away I'm going to fill my tart and assemble my hazelnut sponge inside. Assembly is very easy. I'm just going to pour some of the mousse on the bottom of my shell, and I'm going to put my hazelnut sponge inside, and the rest is going on top until it's leveled with the shell. And I'm going to put this in the fridge for 2 or 3 hours just to fully set before I put my next layer on top. Next step is I'm going to pipe the fully whipped white chocolate and apricot mousse. I also have my frozen jellies that I'm just cut it in pieces and just going to arrange it on top. And let's cut the tart. Now let's go through the layering. This tart is very balanced in flavor. The main accent is obviously on the hazelnut, so it's a hazelnut short crust, it's a hazelnut Dacquoise, hazelnut sponge inside of the milk and dark chocolate mousse, which I also flavored with a hazelnut praline. And to add a little bit of freshness, I have a white chocolate and apricot mousse on top with some apricot jellies.